Hi.
It's us again. It is Flyleaf Talks About Stuff, and it's the place where we like to talk about things that we want to talk about.
Are you sure that's what it is?
Wow. It's been a day. It's been a day.
We're Allie and Kimberly today.
We are. It's just the two of us, Stefanie, Kim.
Kim.
And then off in the sides of the universe are Allie and Kimberly right now.
They're around.
They'll be back.
So what are we talking about today, Miss Stefanie?
Oh my goodness, telehealth.
Yay, it's what's on everybody's mind.
It is. And I will tell you, I was not on the telehealth wagon at the beginning. I struggled with it.
Yeah, so did I. I went kicking and screaming at telehealth.
Yeah.
I used to always say, I swear I will never do telehealth. And one of the reasons is because I have to know that my clients have on pants.
We're going to assume that they all did.
Yeah, well, now that I hear stories of people going into their meetings and their Zoom calls with like a sweater or a jacket on and jammy pants, I don't know. Maybe they are sitting in their underwear. I would not doubt it.
Yeah, but you know what? Good for them. Whatever.
Exactly. You'd be comfortable in your own home, right?
Exactly. I did. I went in like just a little uncomfortable with it because I'm not a big technology person anyway. And I always feel like when I'm in front of a camera or when I'm on a voice call or something, I'm always like, ugh, cringy. But I will tell you, I embrace it now because it has kept us connected to our clients in this weird time that we're living in. And I've seen it not be a barrier to good healing happening.
I agree. And we've done, we've already talked ad nauseum about some of the body-based work that we do, the EMDR and the brain spotting.
Right.
And we had some specialized training in how to do that via telehealth. And we have found them both to be very effective. I have clients that I have never met in person that I've gotten since this quarantine hit, and they're done. So they've come and go, and they've never been to my office. And I never thought I would experience that.
Me too.
But I do, and they're healing just as well. And it's really absolutely fascinating. The brain spotting, one day we'll do one of these on brain spotting. We haven't done that yet. But there's a technique for that. But then with EMDR, we have light boxes in our office, and there's a program that we can use on our computers that turns your computer into a light box, and the dot goes back and forth, and you can kind of do that safely at home. It's pretty awesome. I would have never known that existed.
Yeah, props to them for creating it. And they released it during COVID, so everybody that's trained in EMDR could utilize it to help their clients stay regulated. So
yeah, it's been great. It really has been great. And I think the folks that I've worked with that have experienced in the office and out of the office will tell you that they're finding relief in both places.
Yeah, I think our clients have been pleasantly surprised also.
Yeah, and I think that there's no real replacement for being face-to-face with somebody or sitting in their space so that you can feel their energy and they can feel your energy, and there's that lot of that regulation that happens.
In our opinion.
Well, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm wholehearted with you.
But I do think that we are able to do this via telehealth, which is shocking for me. Which is actually a surprise for me.
And the only reason I brought that up is because we have colleagues who only do 24/7 telehealth.
Right. But that doesn't mean there's no healing, because it still happens. I mean,
exactly.
It's with us.
Yeah.
It's very, I think it takes a little bit of getting used to. And one of the trainings that we went to on telehealth was, one of the suggestions was to have your clients do at least 3 sessions and let them give it a shot, because so many people are just like not doing it and walk away because they don't understand that it can help. So we did have a lot of clients at first who said, I'm not doing it, call me when you open back up. And then some that said, maybe it's not for me. And then some said, I don't want to wait this long. I want to get back to what I was doing. So we kind of ran the gamut, and everybody's decision is their own. But we have had some very good success.
I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. What do you
it's
feel
been
like?
Adjustment.
Well, what do you feel like one of the biggest adjustments that you've had to make is for it?
I find it more tiring. I have more fatigue at the end of the day when I'm sitting in front of a screen. I think all of the technology tires me out. But then also I find that my attunement level, because I'm so aware that I don't want to miss anything, I find that a lot of my energy, I'm just more tired at the end. And there are actually studies that show that doing telehealth, I think they call it telehealth fatigue, is a real thing.
Yeah. And I hear that a lot from my clients who do work for, well, almost everybody at this point is working from home. And if you spend your time on Zoom a lot doing meetings and doing calls, you know what we're talking about. There's some energy that you have to bring to it that's very different, and it can be exhaustive.
Yeah.
And a lot, the other part of it, for instance, kind of a Kim tangent, something that I have found that some of my clients are struggling with all of the Zoom stuff is that they've lost that connectivity to people in their office, where you would go have lunch with somebody, or you might go and, you know, meet at the water cooler, or you have a little chit chat before a meeting, or just those little human interactions are missing. And so for some people, that's a really big deal. And then for other people, working from home is great, but working from home, not in a quarantine, means that I'm going to be isolated at home at work, but I can go socialize outside, and I can go and get my interaction outside of work. So there's a healthy balance. So even the people who work from home are finding themselves strained and tired because they don't have a balance for that kind of stuff, for that interaction.
Right.
Even socializing is Zoom. I do Zoom calls with my friends. Like, everything is Zoom right now, or, you know, not to promote Zoom, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And people are getting creative at finding places to have a little bit of autonomy and to have some privacy to have these phone calls, whether it's driving to the park or the car, sitting in a garage. I mean, there's different ways that people are finding the time to really do some deep work, or finding the place, I should say, finding the place and the time.
Well, yeah, because in this environment, we're not home by ourselves if we have a family.
Right.
So you've got to go find a way where your kids aren't listening in, or your spouse isn't listening in, where you can talk and you can find your space. But I think you had said one day that, you know, we have folks that their only time alone is on their way to, during, and after a session. And sometimes they miss that. So
Right.
they'll go out somewhere and do it just because they need to get out. And yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah. I think one of the beautiful things that has happened too is that clients get to see us a little bit as human and relatable, because we're trying to navigate being online and trying to keep as quiet as possible in the house. And then all of a sudden, at least in my house, all of a sudden you'll see these two shepherds barge through the door, and then you're hearing dogs bark, and like, it's just funny. It can be a little, I think that could add to the fatigue too, because I'm trying so hard to regulate.
Yeah, or for me, it's not so much my pet, because she comes to work with me half the time.
Yeah.
But it's my kids, because they're home too. And so even though I have a quiet space, you can hear them stomping around the house.
Yeah.
And you can hear whatever. And if they start fighting or something, I'm just like, oh. So I had to put a note on the door: do not open this door, you know, and had this whole thing. And so after about maybe a week or two, I just came back to the office and thought, you know what? I need a routine. I need to get up in the morning. I need to leave the house. So I would just come to the office, the only one here, which is fine, and then do whatever I have to do and then go home. And it was so much more relaxing for me. So I found quite the opposite. There's no way I'm having a home office.
Yeah. So I started doing that, like a month ago. And then I would be online here with my clients, and they're like, excuse me, I see that you're in your office. And I was like, I am. And they're like, how come you're allowed to come to your office and I'm not allowed to come to your office? They really like seeing our offices. It helps them ground just as much.
Yeah, and they're intentionally made to be comfortable spaces.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have that backdrop.
It is.
It is. Let's see, I was going to say, I had this conversation the other day with somebody about, again, it's a tangent, not so much about telehealth, but working from home, is that when you have your commute to and from somewhere, you have a transition. So you're going from your home life to your work life, and you can kind of settle one and start the other and back. And when your commute is, like one chair to the next, you don't have that option. And then we tend to work longer when we work from home, and we tend to be more available. So one of the important things for people to do is to create a transition for themselves from work to home. So even if it's going for a walk, it's definitely changing clothes. I don't care what you say, being in your jammies all day is not going to be helpful for you when you need to find a routine. We're finding that people get really depressed when they don't have any reason to change their clothes.
Right.
So those kinds of things are really big things.
I agree with you.
Yeah. final thoughts on telehealth?
I thought it was going to be, I didn't warm up to it at first, and I fully embrace it now. And it's not just embracing it, I've moved into full-on gratitude for it. So it's kept us connected. It's kept us connected as clinicians and friends. And then it's kept us connected to our clients and extended family, and, just, gratitude. That's my final thought.
So I had a thought too, is that we have opened up our doors wider with telehealth. So now we can see anybody in the entire state of North Carolina.
Right.
So we have or people have access to us. We have access to them from anywhere in the state. And then I just got my license today for South Carolina. So
yes,
now
you did.
And South Carolina,
whoop, whoop.
And yours is going to be coming through any day now for
whoop,
South
whoop.
Carolina.
Watch out, South Carolina. Here we come.
I know. Flyleaf is coming to South Carolina. So we're finding so much more of an ability to reach people, which is such a gift. So I'm with you. I am very grateful. I have much gratitude. And I think that I still have a lot to learn about some of the ins and outs and kind of making it as comfortable as I can and getting just really a good feel for it. But I think I know enough to be dangerous right now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Looking forward to more.
Yes. Yes.
So where can you find Stefanie, Kim, and then Allie and Kimberly?
You can find us at flyleafcounseling.com. You can find us on Facebook at Flyleaf Counseling, and YouTube, Flyleaf Counseling, and I do have to be cringy for my kids on the Insta at Flyleaf_counseling.
Awesome. All right. Next week.
Next week, hopefully we won't just be the two of us, but if we are, you know what? Make the most of it.
And we're going to talk about stuff we want to talk about.
Absolutely. That's how we roll.
See ya.